big head.
you got you got jokes early in the morning though.
Hey, I'm 24/7 with it. You know that.
Hey man, hey, so check this out. When
Yes,
was
sir.
the man? I I don't even know because I was just sitting here thinking, man. First of all, thanks for the interview. Thanks for hopping up on vocal overdub. But I don't really even know how long this interview conversation is getting back to my brother is really gonna take because as I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, we never really had a chance to talk about everything that transpired over just over the time frame of when the last time we actually physically saw each other, bro. Like I did my very first vocal dub overdub interview. I talked to one of my dad's friends, and like me and Max had a conversation about people not really knowing Big D and what he meant to so many people. And so when I think about that, that's big. But I think in this one, we probably gonna have to interview each other because of the fact that people don't really know a lot about me. And then two, I think that it's gonna allow us both to kind of share how we met, how the whole back to basics thing happened, how that thing with Grinch happened, and what happened, after Grinch, because a lot happened after all of that. And
I'm gonna ask you questions.
right, man. And
you ain't getting off the hook, bro.
Right. But I'm just really tripping, bro, because of the fact that it's funny because I'm gonna start it out speaking for myself. First of all, the way that you came into the picture really, I'm not gonna say irritated me, but it irritated me, and you know why? Because I kind of shared it, but you and Grinch were kind of able to pick up on it on your own because of the fact that I was a talent that was already there, but I kind of kept getting pushed further and further down the pipeline.
Dealt with it multiple times.
Right, exactly. So you saw it.
And it wasn't really. I know what you're saying, because I mean, honestly, like, even though Grinch brought me into the situation, Grinch was mad too.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of put me in an awkward position because, here is, well, Grinch, number one, just because he brought me in, like, there was, he was someone that it's my family. Like, I cared for him deeply. So to see him up, I didn't even have any intention on even doing. I just went to go do a song or two and call it a day.
Right.
And, next thing I know, I meet everybody else. I meet you, we bond. And then I kind of, as I got to know you and started seeing the situation, I got to get a clear picture of what really was, what was really fucking going on.
Right.
And it made me feel awkward. But at the same time, we had so much shit invested at that point in time. By the time I figured everything out, it was kind of like the momentum was already rolling. And, it just kind of was what it was. But I was aware of it. And, we had conversations briefly, but not in depth. But I was aware of it, and it bothered me. But I knew we was all trying to eat at the end of the day. So
right. And the thing is, man, and let me just clear up some stuff just so people know. The whole thing was Rashad Coles, which is part of TMR, which we know is Rush. After we had, after I did those sessions, and this was prior to me even meeting you or meeting Grinch. We were doing the sessions for my EP over at Rashad's. And so my dad needed something to kind of clean his situation. And so Rick had the idea of us getting our own studio. And during that time, it was me, Josh, and Max. And, and so that was the idea of, okay, we'll start, let's say, a label, and I had the idea that it was going to be me and my friends that were going to be the first people out. But I understood that by us being so underground hip hop, Rick and you know, my dad never really gave a damn about too much of anything other than the fact that, okay, my son want to do music, I got my son's back. And then understanding Rick didn't really understand hip hop per se, so it was just a matter of
he had a mainstream ear, you know?
Right?
He Camp Low and stuff like that, but I mean, even that was the #1 radio hit that he did. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, he didn't. But see,
he had an ear for radio.
Right. But see the thing. Radio. But see the thing with Camp Low, Rick didn't do that song for Camp Low. Camp Low took that beat, that Lucchini beat, and didn't even pay or get the approval to even use that beat. Yeah, so me and Rick was driving one day, and the song came on, and I started rocking to it. I'm like, oh, this is my joint right here. So Rick was like, man, they took my shit. And I'm like, yeah, right. And so I'm laughing because, you know me, I'm like, yeah, right. Because I'm like, you know, you ain't got no hip hop like this, you know what I'm saying? But I was just teasing him, and he like, man, watch this. So we went back to our studio, and we kind of fast forwarded, but it was just funny. But we went back to our studio, and man, he made that phone call. Hey, dope. He made that phone call, and he said,
I know Rick was hot.
Oh my goodness. He said, didn't I tell you? And that first check that they had to send him, he showed me that check, and I never doubted him again after that. But it was so funny, right? But the thing is that Rick was trying to find something that was going to take Bac2Bay6, and we didn't even have a name then, but he was trying to find something that was going to carry it over. So
well, yeah, because you have to remember, back when we came out, like, that was the last of the real where everybody was banging. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We was the last generation to see everybody banging, and so even the radio stuff, you know, that a lot of hip hop heads listened to, they had cred in the street, they had cred with hip hop, they had cred across the board. You know, like Pac, Biggie, you know, who else was out there doing their thing? Quick, Ice Cube. You know, I mean, we had serious competition as far as, you know, because if you didn't come in and get on the radio, you was gonna starve.
See, which I totally understood. But here's my thing: if I'm, and this is my only thing, and I'm like, okay, this is my dad involved, so I thought that because it was my dad, and it was a matter of me being spoiled, I got to be 100 about it, right?
Well,
so
he was a lot younger too,
right? And I'm okay with that, but. Still, I thought, and it didn't have nothing to do with y'all. I remember Domino coming up there, and then what you call it from the Loonies,
Bishop Lamar.
Oh man, see everybody, and I forgot about him. Then it was a few other people. Then remember it was what was the dudes that was part of SBS, the Two Fools. Then it was Tank and Tycoon, and so then. After the Two Fools and Tank and Tycoon, so then it was this dude named Grinch. And so I'm like, I heard of him because I remember, and this is the funny part, and we're gonna get, because Grinch is a lot deeper, but I'm getting into the idea of what the beef came up with. There was this dude named Grinch that I knew about from the streets, because you know what my street identity was. And so Max and Fab and our homie Skirt used to always talk about this dude named Grinch that was crazy like Curse. So he crazy like me, and they like, but Grinch don't play. And Grinch is this short, skinny version of you. And I'm like, so what? You get what I'm saying? And so they like, and he got this deep voice in this, and he could rap, but he more hood, right? And so I'm like, you know me, right? And so then when my dad and them said they about to sign this dude, I'm like, man. So I meet Grinch, and when Grinch meet me and Poncho comes up, because you know I got 1,000 names, so we start putting two and two together as we started talking, and I'm like, no, I go by Curse. I said, no, my name Curse. I go by Curse in the streets, right? And so then he was like, well, you know, I grew up in Shotgun, blah, blah, blah. But I'm from SBS. And I said, well, I'm from Main Street, but you know, blah, 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 you know, I'm just going at it. I say, but I got a crew called Alienation. But we were cool. We wasn't beefing or trying to set trip on each other. It was just like, but when I said Curse, he was like, hold on. I heard about you, cuz. Like, you know, I agree. So he was like, I heard about you, cuz. And I said, well, I heard about you too. And so, and I said, but here's what's funny. And this is what I'm going to say to you. And I always told him, I said, bro, I said, we always heard about each other in the streets. I said, but the funniest part to me is that at heart, we probably the nicest and the softest dudes that anybody will ever know. And I said, that's what was so dope, because all our homies love us. And I said, and we really care about people more than anybody will ever imagine. But just because of the persona that came behind us, people always expected us to either fight or want to kill somebody, and that's never what we ever intended. It's just that we didn't like fake people, or we didn't like, you know, having to put ourselves out there. So I was okay with Grinch, but then it came.
Yeah. Y'all had the same. Y'all had the. I think like when you talk about, when you say the word soft, I wouldn't even say soft. I would say like y'all just had big hearts. And
okay.
If you got crossed or betrayed in any way, the retaliation was 100 times worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that I wouldn't say soft though, but I would say you guys had big hearts, man. Like, you know, you Grinch. Like I said, that's my folks, man.
Man,
my folks too, and we just I think because we all share that trait,
right?
You know. And we're all genuine people. I think when like the saying goes, you know, game recognized game. Well, I think from jump, you know, there was a fill out period.
No, and it was and that's what I'm saying. So when you came, I'm like, who is this? Like, who is this? First of all, let me tell you why I was hating, because I'm gonna tell you real talk why I was hating. I was hating because I was like, no, I'm the pretty one. I'm the hood. I'm the pretty gangster up in here. You like the girls like me. You get what I'm saying? And so you come in there looking, first of all, you taller than me, you bigger than me, and you got this buff Tupac looking appearance. And I'm like, so now we got models now. You get what I'm saying? Now we pulling in models with muscles and all of this stuff. And so I'm like, okay, and this dude can rap, and he got this big voice, and it's another SBS cat. I'm like, okay, so what about me? So then remember, and I'm gonna tell you why I blasted y'all. So remember when y'all was doing It's About Time, and y'all said, hey, you want to drop a verse on this punch? And I was like, well, I didn't write nothing, so I'm a freestyle. What did I do on It's About Time?
Man. Honestly, like, you pretty much slayed every verse. I mean, everything, really. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, you pretty much, I mean, you remember, Do You Like It?
Oh, man, that was fun, though.
Hey, you got that?
You there? You dropped out. So, do I have it?
Do you have that track?
No, y'all gotta have them. You know what?
Rick got everything on his.
I think he has a bunch of dats, because that's when that little dude that was living on Hollywood Boulevard used to come and bust with us. But It's About Time wasn't about y'all, but it was about me saying, look what I can do, Rick. Because I don't know if you forgot that your nephew got flow. I got it that he understood, because even it like Rick's thing with me was that he didn't know how to market me, and he would always tell me like stuff like, Poncho, are you going to be a producer or are you going to be a rapper? Because you can't do both, because you gotta choose which one you want to focus on. And I said, well, I want to do both. Like, I'm dope at both.
Yeah, but see, that you have to understand, that's the lane that he comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a hip hop head, like, period.
Well, I got it. And so then
trying to break dance right now at this point in time, but I mean, I'm sure you was nice.
I just kissed my wife, man. That's what you heard. That smack. I just kissed my wife. If y'all want to know what that smack was, I'm just talking to the audience. But anyway, But I get it, man. But I never understood, and it hurt. It didn't hurt my feelings, but it made me more determined back then because I'm like, what do you mean I can't do both? Like here's the thing. I never thought that Rick didn't believe in me. I just always thought that he didn't understand what it was that I could do fully. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Because even when we used to have the meetings in there, when big time people would come in there, they would always say, who is that in the other room? And he would say, oh, that's my nephew. That's my partner's son. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, I'm just the guy, or I'm just the partner's son. But I got it. He wasn't hating on me. It's just the fact that he couldn't understand, okay, this is Grinch who did the song on Tales of the Hood soundtrack, or this is Doughboy, this tall model looking ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you feel like you still mad.
I'm mad. I don't care, cuz I'm mad. No, no, but real talk though. But you feel what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. But here's the dope part. Murder comes into the play, right? So you got Murder, who's taller than me, and who, first of all, you got this black dude that's from one of the biggest Mexican gangs in LA. You know what I'm saying? And then, first of all, he's not really a rapper, but he got a certain charisma about himself. That's dope. So I'm like, okay, this dude whole crew is in here, but I got a crew too, and my homies is here, but I understood, but I didn't understand. And that's why I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, why am I getting pushed further and further down the ladder? Like, what was it? And then they was like, oh, we got all of these artists here, Bac2Bay6, because it was 6 of us.
Who thought of the name? I can't even remember.
I just drew the logo. That's all I know. I think was it Rick or was it Grinch?
I can't remember. I cannot even remember who. I don't even remember who came up with the name. I know it had something to do with Bombay Sapphire because we had the bottle.
Matter of fact, was it Tycoon had that gin, right?
Yeah, the blue bottle.
He came with the gin, and y'all was looking at the gin because y'all used to always laugh at me and let it be on record. Curse was never, or Poncho, whatever you want to call me, I was never an alcoholic. I always just watched y'all drink. You get what I'm saying? So when Hoodie and all my homies would come in there, I always just watched. I would take a sip, but y'all came with that Bombay. I'm like, oh man, that smell like gas. But I think it came from the Bombay Sapphire because we liked that bottle. And
but I can't remember who thought, who made the connection.
It had to have been out of either Grinch or maybe Tycoon or Rick, because I wouldn't. I thought of was crazy. It was alien. So
Tycoon.
But yeah. So it was Bac2Bay6. So we came up with that, and then that's when we started doing the song. The songs. The thing is, we had the dope songs. Remember, we did the song for what was that movie that DJ Pooh was the 3 Strikes? So we did the song for the soundtrack for that.
What was the name of that joint?
All I know is I ain't seen or heard what.
That joint was. I forgot all about that song.
Why? That song was dope.
Didn't y'all go to the set and like 40 was showing love or whatever?
Well, yeah, we went everywhere. When Pooh was before my dad went to jail, we was with Pooh all the time. What was that song called?
I forgot.
Man, are we that old?
Yes, so, bro. Damn, I'm tripping. You know why it is? Because I haven't heard that song since we did it.
I ain't fresh out. Still got the taste of county slop on my mouth.
Yeah. Oh, you killed that shit, man.
Just because I wear blue puts me on the scene. Oh, man, I always,
What? I can't remember the hook.
I'm trying to get to the hook, yeah. The other homies
That's gonna drive me crazy. You know that, right?
Huh?
That's gonna drive me crazy.
Oh, man, what was the name of that song?
It wasn't 3 Strikes, was it?
No.
Damn. Ooh, we had the helicopter. We had the ghetto bird in there too.
What was it? I bet we're gonna think of it after this or later in here, man. Oh my goodness. What was the name? I don't even know.
Now.
I don't even know. Okay, well, we'll come back to it. So, okay, so kill all this. So let me ask a question. So now that we didn't get off of all me acting like a brat, because yes, I was a brat. I don't care, man. I don't care. My dad bought me a record label. Shoot. Get off of it. Shoot, man.
As long as it's real, it's all good.
But I listen, man, first of all, here's the funny part, though. I dropped out of school because my dad, when I was going to college, my dad bought me what I was going to college for. Whose dad buys them that? And for the kids listening, I was a fool for quitting school. Props to my moms for that, for bringing that to my attention, because you never stop your education for nothing, right? But that's how spoiled and dumb I was back then, because now I'm going back to school because it was music and graphic design that I was going to school for. So hindsight 2020, we think about these things, but life was so good and so fast back then. Like, we had everything, right? But it's funny because thinking about having a label and remember, I never bragged about stuff or threw stuff in people's face. I was always humble, but I was just like, this is what I'm going to school for. And my dad said, okay, here, we finna do it over here. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna just go on and put all my 100% into this. So this, meaning the music. So that's why I really got upset, because I felt
it was your baby. Just like it was Rick and your dad.
And that's what, and so every time I was giving my all and my dedication to it, I felt like, why don't they believe in me how I believe in me? Case in point, my dad had my back, but my dad didn't feel music the way that I felt it, as far as he didn't understand what I was doing. He always said, oh man, you must be snorting moon dust, because what you talking about? But he didn't understand it. You get what I'm saying? So I get it. And I remember even back then, they used to always talk about this dude named Jay Dilla. And we know who he is now, but they used to say, man, your beats kind of sound like Jay Dilla. I'd be like, who the hell is Jay Dilla? Like, I'm me. But after the fact, I start understanding, or when or they just always say, man, your sound is this, or you doing this and that. And much respect to Jay Dilla. So I'm not throwing shade on him, but it was just because I was so hood with everything that I was doing, I didn't even realize how hip hop I was. You get what I'm saying? Because I was influenced by.
But see, your love for the game brought that forward without you even knowing, because that's just what it was.
That's crazy, huh? Like, I listened to stuff.
He was a gangbanger that loved hip hop. That's why. And then, like, when I think of like your style and the type of tracks you was making and rhyming over, that's why. I hit you up yesterday. I was like, nigga, you was Kendrick Lamar before there was Kendrick Lamar. Like, way, like 20 years before.
Right.
And no one will ever know but the people that was in that circle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But,
and
I mean, like, me and Grinch always knew you was dope. We was always trying to plot and figure out ways to get you on fucking tracks because you didn't want to get on nothing.
Right, but I was being a brat. And it's funny too, because even Will used to always say, he was like, man, did you hear about this dude named Drake? And this was before Drake got big. And I said, Drake. And I said, yeah, it's some dude. But let me tell you. I said, yeah, it's some light-skinned dude. He sent me a friend request on on MySpace. And I said, yeah, I heard of him. Why? And he was like, man, have you heard his stuff? And I said, some of it, but not really. And he was like, man, he sings and raps. And I said, okay. And he was like, nigga, you always did that. And I said, yeah, but nobody gonna believe it. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? I just brush it off. And that's what I'm saying. So you're right. It'll never, like, I'm not in it to try to prove what I've done. I'm in it to say this. And this is what I try to do with TMR. If you sleep on yourself, or if you don't go after your dream, somebody else is going to come out and you will never be able to prove what you used to do. Even if you come out with old stuff, it's still going to come out as if, oh, you're doing what such and such has already done, even though you've done it before. You get what I'm saying? And it's not even a competition. Like you say, I was Kendrick Lamar before there was Kendrick Lamar. No, I was me. I was Cursed. I was Poncho. I get it. No, I get what you're saying.
Modern day narrative,
right? Yeah. Right. But what I'm saying is this: I love Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is dope. I respect Drake. You get what I'm saying? Exactly. And so that's the thing. But what I always look at it is this: great minds think alike. Talent
Right.
Talent is talent, especially when it's great. You follow what I'm saying? But my thing is this, just like in TMR, we have so many great artists, great producers who are just sitting there and not really exploring their opportunities to be great. And my thing was, I was a brat. I had too much around me to make me feel like I didn't have to pursue it because the money was there. So of course I didn't have to pursue the money. I just wanted to be heard. And that's what
express yourself.
And that's what was kind of blocking me, because I was like, okay, if I can't hit the stage, then I'ma just do it in the streets, meaning just my circle of friends. My circle of friends was good enough, which would have been my Alien Nation homies, and then my new now SBS family. You get what I'm saying? Because remember when Alien Nation and SBS became a clique? That was dope as hell for me, but that's what it had become. You get what I'm saying? So it's really crazy, this journey, man. And so this is, now we talked enough about me being a brat. We talked enough about the how we kind of met. But let me ask you now, getting into you, bro. Because like I say, this thing is probably gonna be long.
That's all good.
When and how? Because like I said, first of all, remember, both of us were told we should have been models too, but I wasn't trying to do all that. But let me ask you a question. Right. But you look like one, and I'm gonna keep on telling you, you look like a model. So listen, so let me ask you a question though. What made you say I'm gonna rap? And what got you into it? Because you were dope, but I think that your image was more like you could have been on television, in my opinion, bro. Like, what made you say, and then what made you want to hang with dudes like us, dude? Like, we were street dudes, man. I ain't trying to say the N-word a lot, because I'm trying to keep this cool, but not you. No, clean your, I'm just saying, we were like street niggas. You get what I'm saying? Like, what made you want to hang around people? And I always wondered that. I'm like, why is this dude with cats like us from LA? Like, you were bougie, bro. I was bougie too, but I was a hood bougie type, and I was only bougie because of my mom and my dad.
We wasn't much different, bro. I just went about things a different way. I mean, I grew up in Long Beach. I grew up out in the Inland Empire. I've lived in every hood from Santa Rosa all the way down through Lincoln Park in San Diego. You know what I'm saying? So all that shit I was never a stranger to it. I carried myself a different way, but that's because I was around, my father being in the military, I was around a lot of different cultures growing up through my whole life. So I wasn't narrowed into necessarily one box. But I mean, shit, I grew up, I had NWA before anybody knew about NWA, pretty much.
And you were never intimidated by any of it, and which was dope. I'm not saying because you were tall.
Bro, like we ran around with real killers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even when I left, before I was signed to your father, the cat I was signed to signed me and caught a fucking murder case.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like a real murder case.
Wow.
So like I always, for some reason, was able to connect on a lot of different levels with a lot of different people. And I think it was just growing up, moving around a lot, and being around a lot of different people from the from the hood up to cats that had money.
Gotcha.
I could kind of wear a lot of different hats depending upon my situation. But I mean, I fear no man but God, homie. And as far as like coming into a circle of cats that I really didn't know, I knew Grits wouldn't put me in a bad situation. I had a good feeling about, because I met your pops way before I met you, and we connected, and me and Rick, we connected off top. So it was like I felt comfortable, because I trusted the people that brought me into the situation, and I grew up around the shit. So what Cass was talking about, I done seen it. You know what I'm saying? I done been around it firsthand. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nothing like I was in awe or like shocked by it, or you guys would say some shit and it would throw me off. Like it was another day at the office. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So let me ask a question. So you were signed to somebody before Bac2Bay6, but so you had always been like an independent artist, or were you ever in a group? Or because like, how did the whole SBS thing happen and like all of that, like the whole link up with Grinch and stuff like that? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, you know Overdose?
Yeah, of course. I always told him he looked like Dre, but that was my dude. That was the homie too.
when I was, I'm not gonna say old boy's name.
Because it's somebody I might know. Then go ahead, don't say it.
No, not because of that. We kind of left on bad terms, and I don't want to give him any airtime.
It ain't the one with the Jerry curl, is it?
Nah.
Okay. But it's somebody from over that way.
Yep.
Okay, don't say it.
Yep.
Let it go. All right.
but Overdose. I met Overdose through this dude that signed me when I moved back home from the Bay Area.
Uh-huh.
He signed me, and the funny thing is, man, when this cat, the first time he had signed me, we were supposed to do a Married to the Game soundtrack and movie because he was fucking with Harry O. And Harry O was the same cat that gave Suge money.
Right, that's my dad. I know.
Yeah, yep. So Michael gives this cat money to come hold me down and put my shit out. And what I think happened is this cat was really not putting all the money where it was supposed to go and pocketing the money. But that's another thing. But he hooked me up with Overdose, and Overdose had done I Talk to Myself with Grinch and Enemy.
Right.
So when he brought me and Grinch together.
Me and Grinch, I mean, not to cut you off, but me and Overdose did a track together too. Just putting that out there. And that's lost. Yeah, that's lost.
Yeah, he, I don't know. I talked to him not that long ago. But he's still doing this thing out there. I think he's doing a live band type of.
Oh, that's what's up.
But he plugged me with those cats, and me and Grinch out of everyone else, me and him just really bonded, man. Like connected, like on some old soul type shit. You know how me and Deep Grinch was, what I'm saying?
Straight up.
And so we connected, and then old boy had just went away to prison, and Grinch was out in the valley fucking with me, coming and chilling. And he was like, man, because me and Overdose had did a little like 10 songs we was gonna try and shop. And Grinch heard it, and that was really the first time he heard me rap. And he was like, man, you got to come down and get on this album. I was like, cool, I'm with it. And then that's how I ended up meeting your pops and Rick and being brought into the Bac2Bay6.
Wow. Yeah. So be honest. So you ain't never modeled. Not for no draws, not for no toothpaste, not for no hand model or nothing like that.
No, I did some little bullshit,
I wonder how I would just guess that.
Ball fashion shows.
I wonder how I would just guess that. Pretty ass.
Yeah. When I was younger, but not anything around when we was doing our thing. So.
Yeah. I know pretty when I see it. Coming at all that, trying to act hard. Check it.
Hey. Shut up, nigga. You wear lip balm, nigga.
I do. I like to keep my lips soft. Hey, no, but it's just funny, man. When I'm thinking about it, like, man, I'll be 42 this year, man. I think I was 21 when I met y'all. 21. And so, dang, time go by fast, man. Time go by so fast. But
bro, it's like the older you get, the faster the years go.
Yeah, man, it don't wait. And so we went through a lot, and but a lot happened to us in a short time, like that whole transition. Because remember, we didn't have Bac2Bay6 that long prior to my pops going on that black man vacation. You get what I'm saying? And it's funny because we did those couple of Bac2Bay6 songs, and like I said, the transition of, remember, we were even trying to do some solo joints, but most of it had to do with us being the group songs.
Yep.
Now let me ask a question, because this is what I don't know. And I never really had a chance to talk to too many people as far as out of our Bac2Bay6 circle of what happened on that road trip. Now, here's where I'm going. Remember, I couldn't take that bus ride with you guys because that's when my youngest son, Darren, who's now 18 in college, he was born that week. And so I had to catch the flight out there, but you guys took that road trip and didn't Juice drive the bus?
You rode back with us, huh?
No, we gonna get on it. No, bro, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Juice, you missed some funny shit. Man.
No, man, let me tell you how that trip went though. So what I remember is that y'all left before me because I had to stay back because, like I said, Darren was born. But the weird part was that everything was set up for us to go on a road trip, perform at the club and do what we did. All I know is y'all teased me because I stayed in a hotel even after we performed and I just was watching cartoons in my room the whole time because that's what I did. Yes, I was that kind of gangster. I watched cartoons
I remember that,
and stick to myself, and y'all teased me about it. So what?
We had any opportunity to mess with somebody.
Right.
Matter who you
but I don't care. I was still hard. I still put it down. But my question on that trip, because I know y'all did the radio interview, which I missed. Do you guys remember how that whole thing fell apart? Because you know my dad. That's when my dad got locked up.
Yeah, I know. You want me to be? So
I want to hear what your experience was on it, because you know me and Rick were in the same. First of all, you know, we had to leave the hotel like super fast. We had to unpack and go somewhere else, but we had all got split up after that, and it was just me and Rick together. And then you guys ended up going somewhere else. So I don't know. I never had a chance to talk to y'all after that as far as about that incident. And then we didn't talk for a few years after that, right?
Yeah, because I moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I moved to Vegas when we got back.
Yeah, so we didn't talk for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So matter of fact, we didn't talk until what happened with Grinch.
Matter of fact, bro, on that road trip is when Grinch started showing signs of being sick.
But that's what I'm saying. So we didn't talk. So maybe about a year and a half, you and I didn't talk. And I'm saying you, me, and Grinch and Murder were the closest ones out of Bac2Bay6, of course. But we didn't never really have. I know I talked to Grinch about it, but like I'm saying, we didn't talk about the experience. So I just want to hear what happened when we split up from those hotels.
I mean, really, it was just. We just was sitting and waiting and worried, you know what I'm saying? Like, because all of us had never been in that situation before, and we cared. It was someone. There was people that we cared about.
Did they tell y'all what happened though?
What's that?
Did they tell y'all why y'all had to run?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you this. Rick told me, but I don't know if he told everybody. But he told me. But I don't know if he told everybody, and I didn't say shit because it ain't my business to say anything. If they had a question, they need to go to Rick with that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't want nothing. I didn't want to be the one.
Right.
And I don't remember being asked about it, but I knew what the fuck happened. And matter of fact, if I remember correctly, one of the motherfuckers that set the whole shit up rode back on the bus with us.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't even know that part. The only thing
we didn't know till later on, man.
You got back, right? And
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but yeah. It's really crazy because that situation for me, like I said, I had my son born. And then I lost my dad, right?
Yeah.
And so life for me changed a lot. And it changed a lot for Grinch.
It changed for all of us.
It
man.
did.
Like,
It did. But I'm gonna tell you,
yours was very unique because it was your father.
Right.
It was your brainchild involved, and without him, what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing moved without your pops. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
And
so it was like on the same plane, we all kind of see our dreams take a backseat because that shit ain't important right now. And just trying to figure out what's going to happen, running through scenarios in your head, trying to figure out how we're going to get home on a financial level because your pops like I said, without him, nothing moved.
Yeah, he took care of everybody.
It was just a unique set of circumstances, and you're just wondering, like, shit, like, number one, I'm 1,700 miles away from home. What, is my folks going to be okay? How am I going to get home? Is this shit over? Like, there's all kind of shit running through your head, and then you're sitting amongst other talking, and, it was a scary time, straight up.
It was weird for me, for one, because that morning when my dad was leaving to go where he was going, when we were walking down the stairs, because remember the hotel we was at had the stairs, and we were walking down the stairs, and I said, "Can I go?" And he said, "Nah." He said, "Nah, stay here. I'll be back." And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and
you knew something
wasn't right. But see, and I'm gonna tell you what my dad said after the fact. After I got a chance to talk to my dad said, "Punch, if you were there that day, you would have got killed, because if you would have seen how the police, because he didn't know that they were police that day because they had on ski masks and guns and stuff out." Right. And he said, if you would have saw how they came at me, you would have tried to protect me.
Yep. No doubt.
And I said, wow. And so he said he felt good knowing that it was the police because he thought he was going to die that day. But I'm like I said, I don't want to put it out. And the only reason I am talking about it is because he's comfortable talking about it and the case is over. But the problem is that moment was the change for everything. And
it's everything, definitely.
And so, like I said, after that, there was a period of time. No, you know what, Dope Boy? I take it back. We did talk after that, but that part we never talked about. Because remember after that, or during that time, remember Grinch was going through the stuff with his mom because his mom had the aneurysm. And she was sick up and down.
Had just passed and he was still sick.
But remember, she had the one before and she survived that one and then ended up having another one. And and that's the one that killed her. So during that time, he was never the same. So
I remember he used to say, if my mom is not here, I don't want to be here. Cause
right. And so this is what I'm saying. So after my dad left, it killed everything for him because we would be driving when he would take me home from the studio. He would always say, "I'm tired." And you and I had talked.
Yeah, you had a lot of relationship going on shit too.
Right, with old girl, because and that's what I'm getting to. Because they had got into it when he had came to my my birthday party at my house when I hit 24. And but I remember him not being, he didn't want to live anymore, right? And you had told me, you had hit me up and told me that he was gonna come and stay with you in Vegas.
Yeah.
And y'all had plans for this. And so he was planning on coming there and he would say he was tired. And I told him while we were driving, and I said, "Hey man," I said, "you know how you always tell me to stop stressing and to stay strong?" I said, "Why you ain't taking your own advice?" And he was like, "Man, I lost my mom." He was like, your dad's gone and my girl's tripping. Like, what do we have, bro?
I felt guilty for moving to Vegas, bro. I felt guilty. Not that I would have stopped it, but you always think about scenarios like, would he even have been there fucking with her, arguing and shit, or would he been out with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things run through your mind. He used to, I'm not gonna say he used to make me feel guilty, but
No, you just feel
he was clear that he was hurt by me leaving LA. You know what I mean?
No, and probably too because of the fact that when you close to someone, it hurts, man. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you guys had a brotherhood, and you guys were a support system for one another. And like I said, I was his little bro, but you were like his big bro. You get what I'm saying? And so, cause he used to, he used to always stay on me, especially about my temper, which was ironic. But it was weird because that last conversation was weird that day when he took me home, but I didn't think nothing of it. And so the day when Murder had called me and told me what had happened, I thought that they were playing because an hour prior to that, Grinch had called me and asked me to come over to the house. And I'm tying it back to the guilt. He said, hey, what you doing? And I said, I'm in here. I said, I'm in here sick. I said, I got a headache, man. I'm not feeling well. And this was before me knowing I had MS and all of that stuff. But he was like, come on, cuz, come on through, man. We over here playing Madden. And I said, man, I would be over there if I could. He said, oh, you ain't coming because you don't want to get your ass beat in this Madden. I said, bro, if I could, I would come. But I just took my medication and I'm laying in the bed. I'll hit you tomorrow. So he started asking about everybody one by one. He asked about Max. He asked about Josh. He asked about my kids. He asked about my dad, like everybody, how everybody doing. And then he was like, I love you, right? But I'm like, I love you too. Well, it's normal. So left it at that. And then when Murder hit me back and he like, what you doing? And I said, oh man, I'm still in the bed. Why, what's up? He said, Grinch killed himself, cuz. And I said, damn, man. I said, y'all want me to come that bad, dude? I said, I will be there tomorrow. And he paused. He said, Punch, I'm not playing. And I got in my car. And when I hit that corner, I saw Van Hilliard outside. And I hit that corner and I saw everybody outside. But me seeing that ambulance and then that stretcher coming down. And I'm going to tell you what did it for me. When they were coming out with the stretcher or the gurney, his leg came out and then crocus sacks came out. Bam. And I was like, I broke down. And so
they almost dropped you.
Yeah, they almost dropped him. And so
I'm scared.
I bust through the crowd. No, I bust through the crowd. So all the SBS dudes, because everybody was there and some of them didn't know me. So I bust through the crowd and they like, cuz, who are you? And so somebody said, oh, that's Poncho. Let him through. Cause the majority, everybody who knew to know me, like the big heads who was from SBS, told them niggas like who I was. But when I seen that, I said, one of the strongest people I knew gave up.
Yeah, man. I still have there's some things in life, man, that you never get over. You just learn how to live with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't even know that though, bro, because it took me a whole year. Because remember that apartment I had in Torrance? It took me a whole year to just be in that house by myself because I would still smell that Hawaiian punch and that gin.
Vodka.
Yeah, that vodka. I'm sorry, that vodka. And then cigarettes. And I'm like, dang. Like, it's weird. Or I would hear him in my dreams. And then one night I had a dream, like a year later. And he said, and I'm sitting at his funeral. And he's sitting next to me at his funeral. And he looked over and I'm like, you in the casket though, bro? He like, cuz, I'm all right. Don't trip. And after that, I was fine.
Yeah, I some days are better than others, man. Like, I still listen to Bac2Bay6 shit. I got like 5 or 6 songs, man. I listen to that shit every day. At some point, I'm in my car.
But let him be, and I didn't really want to talk about him like that, but we got to get into him anyway because he's our bro. But I want to say he is my motivation for every time I feel like giving up. I think about how pissed off I was at him for giving up, because I said, damn, remember, and matter of fact, we talked. I don't even think it was 2 years or something like that, because I remember we talked and I said, you know what makes this so bad is that we can't retaliate against anybody for killing our homie because he killed himself.
Yeah. No, we talked after he passed. I remember.
And it was really a tough acceptance, because like I said, for me, it was big because he was so strong, and he was someone that I looked up to, because I felt like he could relate to who I was, because I didn't have to be cursed around him. I didn't have to be.
We all had the same fucking heart.
Right. And you know, and it was weird though. Like, even like what I had with y'all, man, it was weird. Like I said, what I hated about y'all wasn't, I'm not even gonna say I hated it. I was irritated, and it wasn't something that y'all caused. I just felt, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. You know how when you the only kid and then your parents keep having more?
Yep.
That's what it was. That's what it was. And so,
my youngest, his favorite phrase, because he's always finds himself in this situation, is "me too." What about me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like the same scenario. How you kind of felt, like, like you said, like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
right.
I've been here from day one. Like, what's cracking? So I mean, I like when you say that, I get it. I understand it. I was the youngest in my family, so I get it too. And it's hard because you it's something that you love and care about damn near more than anything. And then you have your father involved, and his money's involved.
Man, do you not know I had to sign a contract, even though that was my dad? And
so that's Rick.
And I know, now I understand. Back then I didn't, but now I understand that business, because even my dad said business, right? And it's funny because I'm still super close to Rick. Like, Rick is my uncle, right? But I didn't understand back then, because like I said, I was being bratty. But now when you grow up and understand the business of life, it makes a lot of sense. But it's just so many things that we develop and kind of absorb over the years that you'd be like, oh, okay, this is why it makes sense. It don't matter if family or not, because personally, I think family will do you in faster than your enemies.
Blood don't make you family. Loyalty does.
Exactly.
Blood makes you related. That's it.
Exactly. And so it's just real crazy how we saw a lot and we got a lot of gems back then that we probably didn't even pay attention to, because I still never, I took for granted a lot of people that I knew and that I still know that I could have got in with, like the DJ Pooh situation. I still got access. It's just not the same because he's so busy now. But DJ Pooh, I had access more back then with DJ Pooh, but I didn't pursue it because DJ Pooh is like how I am with you, where we could just call. You get what I'm saying? Right. Or like Mike Concepcion, just making a phone call. You get what I'm saying? Or just a slew of different people. It was just a matter of those people know my dad, so because they know my dad, they cool with me type of situation, because I'm Don Tennyson.
So once you have your own shit and people know your shit's on fire, it's hard to take steps back and go fuck with somebody else when you had your own shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's part of all of us being who we are, as far as how we all came together. Like we thanks to your father, we had our own shit.
Right. True.
And especially for you, it was really your own shit. So you have people that are close to you, like Pooh. It's hard to go to that man when he knows you had your own shit.
Well, and he used to always say, like, I look at it like this. They cool with my dad. I'm just my dad's son. So I gotta learn to be my own man. I can't ride my dad's coattail forever.
That's part of my point.
Yeah.
Is you're gonna try and rebuild your own shit and fight for hell like like your life depends on it before you go, hey, put me on.
Right. And that's the thing.
I know who you are as a person, as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's how you are. So when you and me being there firsthand and knowing the resources you have, when I know you ain't touching them, I know why you ain't touching them.
And it's funny though, because even Chili Chill, Chili Chill, Ice Cube, because he used to be at the studio, he always hit me up. He like, man, why you don't be hitting me up? And I say, well, like, man, I'll be trying to tell you to come get on this soundtrack or this such and such I'm doing. And I say, all right, man, well, just hit me, man. Just remind me. But I just look at you like my bro. Like, I don't even be tripping because I'm not, like, it's no disrespect. I just don't get starstruck. You get what I'm saying? And so just like even with Rashad, Rashad's my brother. I'm not starstruck off my brother because I know if I call my brother, he gonna answer the phone. You follow what I'm saying? So it's the same thing, but I got resources. Like if I need a question answered, I'll get the answer. And so this is what I try to be for the guys in TMR. But hey, I do want to ask you though.
Yeah.
With Grinch, because he's not here to talk for himself. I know that he did. Yeah. I know that he did the Tales from the Hood soundtrack. I know that he was signed to Bac2Bay6. I know that he was trying to do other things prior to being signed to Bac2Bay6. But let me ask a question that you can answer for you and you can answer for him. What is it? And because I know what my issue is, and you kind of said it yourself, is just kind of because I try to make a pathway for myself, and then I didn't take advantage of my resources. But someone with talent like yourself, and you looking like a pretty boy model, and then someone like Grinch, I'm gonna put it. I don't care. I'm gonna put it out there. And then somebody like Grinch who had the talent, and then also was on a soundtrack for a movie that was popular at the time. Why was it that there was still no opportunity to step over that hump and make a way? And the reason that I'm asking that is because I'm going to be doing a interview with a cousin of mine who knows everybody. Like, we know a lot of people, but she know them even deeper. And it's always something. It's deeper than politics sometimes. Sometimes it's a matter of right place, right time. Sometimes it's just a matter of being blackballed. Sometimes it's just a matter of you didn't pursue hard enough. But I want to get this question answered because of the fact that we thought Grinch was talented. We thought he had a dope voice, especially in the 90s, in the early 2000s. I think that you, and no, I'm not flirting with you, but you get what I'm saying. I think that you had an image to sell records. Even if you couldn't, let's say you can rap, but I'm saying even if you couldn't rap, you had an image, especially for back then, because a lot of it had to do, sometimes you could just have a look and people would want to buy your album. So what is it that you think kept someone like a Grinch or someone like a Doughboy from making it big in the industry, or even making it at a level where you could say, okay, I can quit my day job?
I mean, honestly, what I think, and I think it happens to a lot of people, there's two things that happen. One is when we started, when Grinch and I first started out, because I came at a time right before, actually right when that soundtrack got released. And I was also signed myself, did a song with Tyrese, shot a video, doing all that shit. And so we kind of had this momentum going. And I think because the wrong people were in charge of our shit and we had the wrong cats around us, we suffered. Whether it be a manager fucking up a relationship at the label or an owner that can't stay out of jail, we didn't really have the right combination until we got with your pops and Rick, and then actually be around cats that handle business that we could trust. So I think like, and that's circumstance. So I would say it was the people that we surrounded ourselves with at critical points of our career, and then circumstances that, you know, that didn't play out in our favor in the end, I think are the two reasons. And then you remember, you know, like once your pops went away, you know, Grinch was already sick, and that just kind of deteriorated, you know, and his mom passed. Like he just nothing panned out for him. And it was just circumstances he found himself in, you know, because of the things that played out around him.
Well, okay, let me ask a question, because you brought it up before. Because the sick, that cough he couldn't get rid of, right?
Yeah, he had throat cancer.
Huh?
He had throat cancer.
Put that on it.
Put that on everything, homie.
He did not tell me that.
He wasn't going to.
That's why he kept spitting.
Yeah, he couldn't swallow. He had to drink fucking 2 pints just to eat every day.
Dude, are you and I'm calling it a cough. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
From the cigarettes?
Yep. Yeah.
What?
He had throat cancer. I don't know who he told, and it wasn't my place to say shit, so I never.
Well, you kept it because and as close as we was, you kept that secret because you didn't say nothing to me, and so it makes a lot of sense why he was tired.
Yeah, he was sick, man. He was sick as fuck. He was sick.
Okay, man. So could I say I'm gonna put it out there? So is that why he? Oh my goodness!
It was a bunch.
Is that why he killed himself the way he did?
Huh?
Is that why he killed himself the way he did, you think?
Oh,
what you know what I'm saying, where the gun was.
Yeah. Probably, but I know it was a cop. It wasn't just the cancer, it was this relationship.
No, I know that for sure, because I know how that scenario went.
All that shit happened in like and him getting sick, it all happened in like a 2-year window, man. That shit's insane.
Dude, he never said. I just always, I knew that he had the cough from the cigarettes, and then I thought it was just a combination of him drinking. I promise I did not know he had throat cancer, bro.
I believe you, because he made me swear not to tell nobody.
And he probably didn't want to tell me because he knew it would have hurt.
Exactly.
Damn.
He had no choice but to tell me, because I knew in Detroit when he didn't finish his gumbo, something was really wrong. When we were at Fishbones, when he didn't finish that gumbo, I was like, oh shit. I thought maybe he had the flu or something, but I'm like, when you got, you know, then I'm like thinking like, he got this cough and shit, and that ain't tied to no damn flu.
Oh,
I just thought
my
maybe
God.
he didn't feel well. Maybe he drank some bad water or something. I don't know. And then when we got back, he was still sick, and then he finally went to the doctor, and when he told me, I was like, whoa, man.
Cause he could smoke almost a whole pack a day, huh?
Oh shit, damn near 2 packs, bro. I would say he was smoking about a pack and a half a day. We was both heavy smokers back then.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That just changed everything for me.
I still to this day don't know who he told.
That's why
I never said nothing.
It's not too many that know. I mean, everybody know now, but it's not gonna know now. But it's not too many out of my circle that know, because they would have said it.
Yeah, I don't even know if Murder knew. I really don't.
No, because Murder would have said it to me at least.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not even mad at you for not telling me, but damn though, bro. Dude been dead since 2001.
I know, man. This is the first time I've actually even had a conversation about it, to be honest with you. Like, an in-depth conversation. I've never talked. I haven't even I don't even talk to my wife about it, because I haven't said nothing to nobody. I don't even talk about it. The
only reason I talk about it, and let me be honest with you. I talk about it because I go into depression sometimes, you know, dealing with my health and dealing with where I'm at, you know, financially sometimes, because a lot of people don't understand what it's like. You know, as people from my hood used to always tease me and call me C Rich or Richie Rich.
Right.
Being spoiled, and the thing is, it's like when I say spoiled, I wasn't like spoiled where I treated people like I was better than them. I didn't act like that. It was just being spoiled in the sense of I had both my parents, plus I had step parents, or still have, sorry. And then I've had all my grandparents. So this goes beyond having money. You follow what I have? Then in society, I've been pretty much accepted in a positive light. Prior to my dad going to jail, my dad had good income. My mom always worked hard and provided and did what she could. Had you know, I have a stepmom. Yeah, I had a support system. Stepmom, stepdad. And then after my dad went to jail, I bounced back from that and had a great career. So I was always in a situation of blessing. So to come to this situation where an average person will feel that they're not blessed, having to deal with MS, having to deal with not having the financial stability that I'm used to, it gets you to that point where, and every time I get in that funk, let me tell you in all honesty how I feel. I'll say stuff like, why? And then I remember Grinch's conversation in that car. I'm always that drive down Cahuenga going to my house. I'm always reminded when Grinch looked over at me and said, I'm tired. And that's what snaps me out of it. And I'm like, it takes my best friend who's been dead for 16 years to remind me why I need to keep living.
Yeah.
Like nothing that my wife can say, nothing that my mom, my dad, or my kids, or you, or nobody else could say. It takes somebody who's been dead for 16 years to remind me I need to keep living.
I draw from it too, man. I try and live for him. You know what I'm saying? Like in a abstract, weird, like, you know, way. I find myself in situations, and you know, I think
right. But here's what I'm gonna add to this, and maybe his season, maybe it was a season for him to come into my life where we have so much in common as individuals, and for him to become that brother for me. Because of the fact of even after he had died, one of my close cousins who had gotten murdered in 2003. Now, this was the toughest dude I've ever met. In my eyes, he had got murdered in a brutal way. And that woke me up to the fact that, I'm not invincible after all, because if this guy could get killed, so can I. I need to wake on up. Right.
Yeah.
And so you get people that come into your life with a purpose and a reason and a season and then whatever it may be to be that wake up call for you. And so this is why even with TMR, it's so important for me to give back and to try to inspire these people on a daily basis beyond music, just personally, because of the fact that we all need people to be a ray of light in our lives. Right. And so, I like doing these interviews, man, especially now that you told me that Grinch had throat cancer. It makes even that much of a difference to me as to what I'm tired meant to him, or what I don't have no support meant for him. I lost my mom and I can't go on.
You have to remember, he didn't have insurance or nothing.
Right.
They didn't do shit for him.
Right.